Hello then folks, welcome to another episode of Cat Meets. And today we're going to go and meet up with a fella which I've met before and a couple of the shows as well. For those of you on Instagram that have seen the post with his car, you'll know what's coming up. For those that haven't, you'll find out how lucky I am that he's agreed to do one of these videos with me. He hasn't had the car for many years, but he's done loads and loads in the time that he's been given. It's just been off the road for a little while, doing some engine work. Obviously we'll get into that with him during this video. Really looking forward to seeing the engine bay, having a little go in it as well, and just seeing what he's sorted out on this car. So now we're going to go meet James and his Mark 3 Ford Capri 2 litre. Roll the intro. So, on this channel, we don't need much introduction to Ford Capris, but I will give you the basics. They're awesome. Oh, you want some more? Right, so the Ford Capri ran from 1968 all the way up to 1987. 3 different iterations. First one being obviously the Mark 1, which ran up to 74. There was a facelift around about 72, I believe, topping out with an RS 3100, which was an absolutely wicked machine. I believe it was a bored out Essex V6, and there was a neighbour of my parents that used to have one. It was such a lovely car, but loads and loads of other engine options, trim options and stuff obviously came with that car too. 1974 came around and they brought out the Ford Capri 2, which was the Mark 2 that we now know and love. Again, loads and loads of iterations, different sort of engines, trim levels, and all that sort of stuff. The main thing with the Capri is it became the people's sports car, you know? Because of all the different versions of it, there was certain models which every man could afford and run as a daily driver, right up to things that were really, really quite sought after. The Mark 3 came along in 78, ran all the way up to 87, and realistically it was a bit of a facelift from the Mark 2. There wasn't masses in terms of its proportions and stuff that changed. A couple of different engine options, but then the front and the back had a little bit of change in terms of the light, so it's more like a facelift, but it is now what we know and love and call the Mark 3, which is what I've got. Today we're going to go and see James and his Mark 3 2 litre laser from 1986. Really beautiful car, quite a few mods to it, a really class looking machine. So I'm going to crack on and go and meet up with James, and I'll catch up with you guys when we get there. Rightio guys, I made it to the meeting spot, and there's the machine. This is James, and he is the owner. Start us off. What is it about like classic cars that you like? And
I think I've always had a little bit of a fascination with them. I think my first car when I first passed was a black Mini with a silver and black checkered roof. It had a stage 1 tuning kit on it, which was lovely.
That must have been a cool first car.
It was for about 2 months. Yeah. I crashed it into a parked Jag and wrote it off while just driving like an idiot, basically.
Yeah. As we do when we first start driving.
And then I got a red Mini after that, and someone crashed into the back of me up at the Mall at the lights. Just stood there on the red, straight into the back. So that was that one written off. And then it was, I don't think I'm really capable of having a Mini without having a bit of bad luck. So I got a sort of a more sensible car. For the life of me, I can't remember, and I suppose that's half the problem of when you get newer cars. They don't really mean a lot. And I'd always wanted a Capri, but I was kind of always warned off of them by people because of the I suppose the rear wheel drive and their lack of being able to stay on the road. So yeah, that was it in terms of my venture into classic cars for a while. I think my old man, he had a Triumph Spitfire, which was originally going to be my very, very first car, but it was classed as a sports car, so there was no insurance on that until you were 21.
So did he have that when you were young?
Yes.
You remember that car?
Yeah, the yellow Triumph Spitfire, 1.5 or 1500 or whatever you want to call it.
They're cool looking cars, the Spitfires.
They are, yeah. And then he's had a couple of MG midgets, but they are more for the, in my opinion, for the elderly man. But, in about 5 years I'll have one of them. Said I've always wanted a Capri, and it kind of, things fell into place recently, basically. I had the passing of a friend, which made me sort of create a bucket list. Owning another classic car being on there, particularly a Capri, but I had a small budget, didn't think I'd get one. So yeah, it's been interesting. COVID happened, a lot more working from home, so I've kind of got a family car for me, Mrs. and the boy, which enabled me to get a second car that didn't have to travel as far.
So onto the Capri then. When did you buy that?
Well, so I bought this back in September last year. I got it off eBay, sort of a last minute bid for 5,100. And yeah, I thought at the time it was a steal, so I got it up on some ramps and it needed a little bit of welding on the back rear leaf spring. It was a sort of basic, it was a laser, but it had the S-stripes already on there, grey laser interior. Standard 4-spoke sort of Capri 13-inch alloys. It had the exhaust, it had a 32-36 twin Weber carb, and it's just running a little bit rough. It wasn't quite as well polished up as kind of I keep it. It was just a little bit worn, really.
Was it like a daily-ish, or?
The plan was to always use it as a daily, which I do. I work from home, so by daily, it's driven 3 or 4 times a week. Not not excessive journeys, but yeah, I pop to the shops. Did
the last guy you bought it off?
He only had it for 2 months, I'm assuming he was aware that it needed welding. He
found out.
Just didn't tell me.
No.
Either that, or he just never bothered looking. So yeah, he's well chuffed with himself. But it's all perfect now. It's all undersealed and everything. And,
nice.
Well, since I've had it, it's like Trigger's broom, basically. So everything's kind of been overhauled. I had the rear brake drums off, refurbished those. They have been painted a goldish colour. I was having gold alloys at the time, but my missus said I would look like a bit of a tit, really.
I really like the grey. I think the gunmetal grey and the chrome really set off the car. Awesome.
It was a good decision by her, because she was probably right.
It's
been quite an expensive run with the car, but I've had a few photo shoots of Assos, Ralph Lauren, pretty little thing. So yeah,
nice.
It's helped pay for the brake caliper seized, so they it's new brake calipers on there, new vented discs, new brake hoses. So yeah, it's kind of helped support the.
That's what you need, isn't it?
Costs.
It
is,
definitely.
yeah.
Oh, wicked. Well, it looks absolutely awesome. Let's see how it goes. Let's jump in this monster and go for a quick spin. Righty then, folks, we are out and about in the Capri. In here, he's got an absolutely lovely set of gear interior, black vinyl cloth gear interior. It's absolutely wicked. It looks really, really nice. Obviously, my Recaros, I was saying, I've got the headrest on top, which gets them almost up to the ceiling, and you can really feel a difference inside. It feels like a slightly more kind of roomy car almost, but it's really, really nice condition. Let's just have a little flick around that bad boy. Stereo, same as me. Cracking, what, £12
Chinese.
£12 Chinese machine. But it's like the only one that looks right. You've got Bluetooth, isn't it?
Yes.
What the car is a 2-litre Pinto. 32, 36 car. And the exhaust. But it wasn't really running very well, was it?
No, so we took it to a guy over at Yate, a friend, Harry Edwards, and JPR Tuning. He gave it a little tune, got it up to 130 as it was, and then kind of, that's when I sort of then changed out the interior, wanted it to look a little bit more like my car, so custom steering wheel, custom gear mount, and I've got a Sydney board, he's 13, 14 months old now, his name's Roman, so there's a wolf in the middle of the envelope there.
Oh, nice. Pop up some nicer pictures of that.
It was an excuse to spend money on a car, as it's now a family heirloom for him.
Yeah, that's a really, really nice idea though. It's a cool little emblem, I like that.
Wait till I pass away now. So we had all the sort of interior sorted, upgraded the brakes. put on the car with a 270 mode road cam, and I bought some twin 45s originally, twin Auto 45 carbs. We put them on, it just, the carbs were, some guy who I bought them off of eBay had re-sprayed them for some reason, so they looked amazing, but they completely messed them up basically. So ended up trading them out for some twin 40 bullet carbs, running at 138, I think, 136 pounds, I think, which we were quite happy with. When we sort of did that, we realised there was a bit of a problem with the engine block itself. So I had the whole engine taken out in the end, and then thought, you know what, we've got the engine out, tidy up the engine bay, so sand that down, prime it, respray it, and while I'm having the engine done, I was going to make it a 2.1 rather than a 2, so it's been home back to there.
Nice.
So it's basically completely new, as new as it can get with no engine.
Yeah.
Drop back in, and we retuned it again then, gained another couple of horsepower, but the biggest gains were was in the pounds and torques, is 156 pounds and torque now. So that's made a huge difference. I think that's as far as I'll go engine wise at the moment. I'd like to say how much I spent on this, but this is as much as it is.
You spent a couple of quid. A couple of quid getting it spot on. You were saying the torque in the engine is making it feel like a nicer car to drive all round in terms of the power as well, aren't you? Like,
I mean,
kind of where the power comes in and what the music will.
It's kind of sacrificed a little bit at the bottom, the acceleration, and sort of the general driving, kind of in any gear when you put your foot down there and keep pulling the way through.
Yeah, nice.
So it's what feels engine wise like a rock car, but still running a pickup engine.
Yeah, so Harry Edwards, I've heard really good things from James about him. He's based over in Yate in Bristol. He's from JPR Tuning. I'll pop a link in the description below just to, if anyone wants to get in touch with him about that sort of stuff. It's an absolutely cracking engine, absolutely lovely noise, and a really, really nice solid car. I absolutely love it. So we're going to have a little stop off somewhere and have a little look in that engine bay as well. So engine bay, we've just been chinwagging. I believe in a couple of the pictures there was a little bit of blue.
Yeah, when I first got it, obviously most of this stuff was completely different. They had blue HT leads. The original rubber hoses were on it.
Yeah.
I guess none of the old black slam panel. Old original radiator. I mean, that's my pride and joy now, is my headlight relay. It was basically brown and rusted.
Yeah.
So it's all been cleaned up along with the rest of the day. Manifold's been wrapped. So the red Sampo silicone hoses are there. 38 pulley on it.
Nice.
The chrome windscreen reservoir. Took ages to find one.
Yeah. It's looking smart, man. It's looking really, really smart. And then I love the look of the twin carb setup. I think it looks so cool with the trumpets on there. Yeah. On the side as well.
Yeah, well, I stole them from the broken 45s. Those.
So. And then the strut brace was something you've put on recently, is it?
Yeah. So the strut brace is the newest addition. However you pronounce it, Vikers, based from Germany. I waited 4 months for that because of lockdown.
It made a huge difference in the car.
Yeah, massively. I mean, the steering itself changed considerably. I mean, I'd heard that they made a little bit of a difference, and aesthetically, it being red kind of went with the look that I was going for the car. But as soon as we put it in, incredible difference, a real noticeable difference. Yeah.
It's something I've been like semi-toying with Cat, to be fair, because I've got a few other bits on there, the compression struts and stuff. But I think just to tidy things up, it might be worth getting one of those chucked in there at some point. But
yeah, I mean, definitely.
I know you rave about it. You noticed the difference.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
so
aesthetically was the main purpose, and to provide, just I think for me it finishes the engines.
Yeah.
Florists probably won't agree, but
your car, your rules, man.
But yeah, just the actual difference it actually made to the car was was, it was worth the £100 or whatever it cost.
Yeah,
so.
definitely. Yeah. Oh, that's absolutely awesome. Cracking engine bay, lovely engine. As I said, JPR tuning. I will pop a link in the description below. We're going to jump back in and we're going to go back and find Kat. Folks, that is another episode of Cat Meets where we've seen James and his Mk3 Ford Capri 2-litre S, in fact 2.1 S. Absolutely lovely machine. There's a few tinkering little bits to do in terms of kind of a few rust bubbles here and there, bits and pieces, which James really wants to try and get on top of over the next kind of year or two. I mean, the engine is the highlight there. It's such a brilliant bit of kit. He's rebuilt everything. It just means that he's ended up with what is effectively a brand new engine. 2.1 twin 40 carbs manifold, the cams, and it just makes it a really nice engine. In terms of going out and meeting and trying to get through the content with a person, James is a bit of a guinea pig, so I've got to say a massive shout out to you for coming out and helping me out today. And a few things been learned in terms of charge your microphone battery up, for God's sake.
Just shit on cars.
Try and get the sticky pad to stick, because that fell off the car. I'll pop a link in the description to James's Instagram account. He's got loads of stuff of his Capri up there, so make sure to go and check him out if you are on Instagram and give him a follow. Also in the description below, a link to the tuning company which helped James out. Bristol based. I'm probably going to give them a shout at some stage given my massive project that's coming up, but they sound like a really good company. He's been really happy with them, so a link in the description if you want to get hold of them. Coming up, we've got a couple of shows. I've also got a couple of tinkering jobs to do to Cat, and also I've got 2 more people lined up this week to go and film the Cat Meets series. Make sure to hit the like button or the dislike button, depending on how you found this video. Leave me a comment, but also hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss out on any future uploads. I'm going to leave you a link here for Cat Meets the Beast, my brother's MP6 Mark 1 Scimitar. I'm going to leave you a link here for the playlist of all the shows I've done so far, and here there's going to be a button which allows you to subscribe to the channel hassle free. Take it easy guys, until next time, drive safe.